for a change today you are seeing two new faces sitting on this chair. So when we were surprised when we were doing this project, uh, to represent one of the or discuss about one of the very important purport of Bhagavad Gita. So we'll start with that. I think it's Sunil Prabhu. So again, before we start, I will have a couple of questions to Sunil Prabhu, and then we'll go from there. So Sunil Prabhu, when this assignment or task was given to you, what was your reaction? Were you excited or nervous? If you can share something, that would be great.
Your phone is sharing.
Yeah. I'm going to change it.
Oh,
Sorry. Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, thank you. Thank you all the devotees who are showing up here today for the Sunday Love Feast. So, yeah, when Vaipan Prabhu reached out to us to work on this particular project and the lecture for today's class. So it was more like, exciting as well as not shocking, I would say, but feeling a bit nervous because we earlier didn't. This was our first assignment, I would say. So we were hopeful we can deliver it as per the guidance given by Vaipan Prabhu and to the expectation of all our devotees. So yeah, that's my understanding.
So just to add right now, we thought again, as we have to start from somewhere, and we thought, let's get into this, and what is better than getting feedback from all the devotees and see what is our learning, and yeah, hopefully we will be able to do justice, and then we'll move from there.
Okay, so Prabhuji, the second question which comes to our list is, what was the planning done to achieve the successful completion of the project?
Okay, so with respect to planning, I'd say right now, again, we were given this task, I think about 2 weeks ago, and initially we thought, okay, we have enough time, we can do that, but again, the first week we were trying to understand how to explain this project, and we work almost every day, we spoke about an hour or so after our office just to, come to a point, where, what is the best way to explain this particular verse. We did, we made a presentation, but later on we realized, look, we cannot summarize this verse in presentation, and therefore we decided, okay, we will go with our open heart and we'll share our learnings. And mostly I will include more stories so that we can engage all the devotees, especially kids. And yeah, so we did a lot of effort, we put a lot of effort, and again we realized, this 1 hour of lecture, which we get, from here in the class, it's not just 1 hour. There are a lot of countless hours behind this effort, to make this 1 hour successful. So it's good. Thank you, Prabhu, again, for giving this opportunity, and we got to know, okay, when everyone, whoever is giving the presentation, how much effort they put, and that's why, we have to listen it sincerely. Prabhu, what were the limitations and difficulties, if you can list something?
Okay. So limitations, I don't think we had any limitations. There are a lot of information provided by Prabhupada through his books, and we have a lot of videos in YouTube by different acharyas in ISKCON. But the difficulties were with us, our schedule, mainly because of our office hours and managing kids, school, and then weekend we had to do our personal and maybe sometimes spiritual activities. So due to that, we had to manage our schedule and find time after office hours. So that was one challenge. And the fourth question probably, how much did each of the members contribute?
So sir, I'd say both of us we contributed. We spent enough I think good amount of hours so that our understanding matches, and that in fact over the weekend for the last 2 weeks we have been connecting to each other. I think twice in a day, right? Morning and evening. Even today we, I think 9 or 10 o'clock we connected, then 1:30, then again in the temple. So I think both of us we contributed to this project, and hopefully right you guys will appreciate it.
Can you fix the phone to be not what was this? Not lock it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just flip your phone because you don't have the lock on, so just flip your phone sideways horizontally.
No, but how do you do it?
It's
in
not
settings. It's what you do.
No, your phone's not
Always,
locked.
always on, right?
Yes.
Here.
It's settings, the,
Sorry.
No, that's okay. So right here you can see this is the lock. That's what it's on.
no, it's not, it's,
Not
but
on.
it's turning off after
Always
1
on
minute.
extreme of you want always on.
Oh, then you can turn the battery saver off. You just need to turn. But, yeah.
Hopefully it will go for a longer duration.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, to begin our presentation, right, we'll see
This lose sometimes plug.
So leave it one place. Don't move too much.
Yes, bro.
Sorry.
So in order to start our today's discussion, we would like to seek the blessings of Srila Prabhupada so that we can do the justice and we can convey the message to all the devotees here. And we need the blessings from all the assembled devotees. Please forgive us if we make any mistake in sharing the message of Srila Prabhupada. So now we'll start with Mangalacharan.
Om Gyanatirantasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishram Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamenam Dadavi Swapadantikam Vandeyam Shri Gurum Shri Bhaktaram Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sargajatam Saradana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Varijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Saranadita Shri Vishwakamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Vandana Mostute Kaptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwanusuke Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi
ask about, what was the purpose of chapter 10. Can anyone tell me what is the name of chapter 10?
Opulence of the absolute.
Great. So again, this chapter is, having it's one of the very important chapter. I mean, all chapters are important, but here, we have 10.8 through 10.12, that's Chatur Sloka. And again here, Krishna is summarizing the essence of entire Bhagavad Gita in these 4 slokas, right? Sometimes it is called, if you know these 4 slokas, you know the summary or the shortcut of the Bhagavad Gita. So we were given one of that sloka, I think it's 10.11, and we'll go with that, and hopefully we will be able to convey the message. So let's start with a verse. We will recite it 3 times. Please join us.
तेषामेवानुकं पाठम् अहम् अज्ञानं तमः नश्यामि आत्मभावस्तु ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता तेषामेवानुकं पाठम् अहम् ज्ञानं तमः नश्यामि आत्मभावस्तु ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता तेषामेवानुकं पाठम् अहम् अज्ञानं तमः नश्यामि आत्मभावस्तु ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता.
We'll see if someone, at the end of the class, if someone remembers this verse. So again, that was one of the tweets, but yeah, we revealed it. So we'll start with the translation. To show them special mercy by dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Right, so as we can see in this translation, right, again it's just a one line, but again it's very powerful. And we will continue to discuss about each and every word. But we'll start from the word mercy, and then dwelling in their hearts, and shining lamp of knowledge. So those 3 words will be the key area, where we will start, and we'll do the, we'll be providing our explanation. So start with this purport, right? It's can anyone say what is mercy? How do we define mercy, or how do we say that we are getting mercy?
Marishana, please. It's not on.
So again, all the devotees, right? Today we'll have a lot of questions, just to engage all the devotees, and we will appreciate your participation. That will help us in delivering our message in a better way.
So mercy is like giving something to somebody in a kind of benevolent way when they're in some sort of distress. So like somebody can be on the ground lying, someone will be merciful and help them up. It's kind of hard to explain actually, mercy.
Sure. No, it's not. Anyone else? Anaya, you want to say?
Now, what is mercy? Not from the text, but what do you know by mercy?
Or anyone, not just, yeah, please.
Wouldn't it be like showing like love and compassion to someone for someone who doesn't deserve it?
So that's nice, but again, very simple word, so that everyone can understand, the way we are doing right now, it's so that everyone, even the newcomers, can understand. Yes, Mataji, I see your hand.
2 things mercy reminds me of. The first one being prasadam, and then, because like prasadam is mercy, it means mercy. And then the second one being instruction from the spiritual master.
Okay, I think it's good. I'm looking for something very specific right now, small words. Yes, sir.
Our grace.
Yeah, that's very close. Almost we are hitting the bullseye. Nishi, you want to say something? Okay. So we'll go right again. The word which I was looking specifically is blessings, as Prabhu said, right? So blessings again, that follow-up question. How do we get the blessings? how can we get the blessings?
Prayer.
Yes. We have the Gauravita here, we can come here and we can come here every Sunday and we can get the blessings. That's the easiest thing, we can do. So now the next question comes, right, based on this translation, how do we define special mercy? Now we know what is mercy, but what is special mercy?
So probably the one somebody was saying, even though not qualified, but we still get the blessing.
Okay, that's good, Prabhu. Anyone else would like to share their thoughts?
Maybe something like very specific to the individual. Something,
Again, yeah, not everyone, Krishna does not give special mercy to everyone.
yeah,
It's again specific.
like a tailor-made blessing that the person may not even, like they ask for something, but then they don't see the full scope of it.
Okay, that's good. So I'll say right now, so special mercy is what we understood, right? It's basically, it's not just the blessings. Blessing is always needed, but along with that, we are getting something extra in case knowledge and how we can move further in our spiritual life. So no one is holding out, no one is leaving your hand until you finish the final line. So I'll give you, a small analogy, right now, a brief 2-minute nice story for all the kids, just so that they will get more interest and for all, right? So it's a story about a tale of two travelers. I'll see these two kids here, right? Once upon a time there were two travelers, Kanaya and Nishi, and they decided to explore a dense forest, and they started. It was nice. They started talking. They were moving forward. But after a certain point, they realized, they lost their way. They don't know how to go. And then started thinking, but fortunately, there was one villager that came, and the villager, so then he asked them, okay, you people are here, what are you guys doing, what help you need? So they said, yeah, we need something, we lost our way, and they gave them, water, fruits, or something eatable, whatever they wanted, and they even gave them a map. Okay, this is the map of the jungle or the forest, and you can go, and you should be able to cross the forest. So they were very happy. So this part, right, I am terming as mercy. They gave them what they needed at that point of time, and they were satisfied. But as they moved forward, right, in the forest, they were happy, their food got over, they went into, and it became dark. Basically at night, they could not cross the forest by the evening time. And now they were in a very danger because these two kids, right, they thought, how we can cross this forest alone, and no one is there, and they started praying to Krishna. And suddenly they say, right now in that forest, a sage appeared, and they asked, from nowhere, he appeared, and he appeared with a lantern, and he just asked, what do you guys need? And he said, okay, Prabhuji, Guruji, we are, lost here, and we need your guidance to cross the river. He said, that's fine, no worries, I'll help you guys with that, And he had a lantern with that, he was showing the path, how to cross the forest. Along with that, he gave him the wisdom and the knowledge. He told about the nice stories so that their wisdom can develop. And then, and even he gave them the shortcut, how you can cross the ocean nicely and quickly. The shortcut way, right? Like Prabhupada and Mahaprabhu has given us Mahamantra. So they gave him the shortcut. And after that, they were able to cross the river, and they did not even get tired. They were happy, wow, we crossed the river, and then they turned back to, so say thank you to the Guruji, and they say, oh, there is no one, just there is a lantern. So it's kind of a special mercy that we got from the God here. Right? God appeared and he made sure that my devotee, he crossed the ocean. The same way, if we get the special mercy, right? So we'll talk about, how we can get qualified to get the special mercy from the Supreme Lord. So with that, I think we are good with mercy and special mercy. And now we'll move on to the purport. Do we have any mic? Can anyone read the purport? Who you would like to
When Lord Chaitanya was in a
I think it's not.
That's on
So-
Okay.
when Lord Chaitanya was in Benares promulgating the chanting of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thousands of people were following him. Prakasananda Saraswati, a very influential and learned scholar in Benares at that time, derided Lord Chaitanya for being a sentimentalist. Sometimes Mayavadi philosophers criticize the devotees because they think that most of the devotees are in the darkness of ignorance and are philosophically naive sentimentalists. Actually, that is not the fact. There are very, very learned scholars who have put forward the philosophy of devotion. But even if a devotee does not take advantage of their literatures or of his spiritual master, if he is sincere in his devotional service, he is helped by Krishna himself within his heart. So the sincere devotee engaged in Krishna consciousness cannot be without knowledge. The only qualification is that one carry out devotional service in full Krishna consciousness.
Yes, that's it. Thank you. So as we can see right now in this purport, Prabhupada is explaining about Lord Chaitanya again. As the name comes to Lord Chaitanya, I think everyone should be get very attentive. It's Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya. It's a unique combination. So in this purport, right, Prabhupada is talking about when he was in Benares. It's one of the very famous place in India, and he was trying to preach everyone about the Hare Krishna Mahamantra with the objective that he wanted everyone to know the shortcut and be happy. So at that time he came across again, even if he start anything right, it's a general thing that people will oppose, and that too happened with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There are many examples like Prakashananda Saraswati, and again if you go to Navadip, right, there are many examples, and we know, right, that there are many learned scholars. It's not we know the 6 Goswamis stories, how wiseful they were, and they got the taste of bhakti and they left their job and they just took the blessings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and started propagating based on his guidance. So in this case right now here we see that it says but the important point here which I want to attract your attention here is but even if a devotee does not take advantage of the literature or of his spiritual master, or if he is sincere in his devotional service, he is helped by Krishna himself within his heart. So it says again, for us, we are devotee, we have to take advantage of all the literatures which Prabhupada has written. Prabhupada and during, so we all know the story right now, even when he was not well, but he was writing because he wanted to leave that literature for the generations, and we have to take advantage of that, And if we see that, many audios where Prabhupada says, if you want to connect with me, you have to read my books. I am always with you in the form of books. So here I'll take advantage, one example, right, again, so God, he does not discriminate. He gives his mercy to devotee and non-devotee. He does not discriminate. Again, it's just based on whoever is asking for his blessings. So I'll take an example of Jagai and Madhai right now as we are discussing about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? So we'll start about Jagai and Madhai. So it's a very powerful transformation that shows that if we have the blessings from the God and the mercy, the unique combination, how it can transform your life. So there were two, I'll say that Jagai and Madhai in the village of Navadvipa, and both of them, they used to do all sort of nonsense, you name it, and they used to do, there was nothing that they had left. So at that time, Nityananda Prabhu, Lord Chaitanya Prabhu, right, he asked, all his followers to provide, spread the message of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and they were in Navadvipa. By Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu, right, by talking, and they got to know, okay, there are two brothers, they are fully, they are making life difficult for all the villagers. And they thought, okay, let's take it a challenge and we'll go and we'll convince them to come into the Krishna consciousness. But what happened, instead of they disrespected, and Madhai, right, one of the brother, he in fact threw a clay pot on Nityananda Prabhu's forehead, and it started bleeding. And then eventually, as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got to know about this incident, he got very angry, and he was in fact ready to call his Sudarshan Chakra. But then Nityananda Prabhu, right, he requested Mahaprabhu that Prabhu, in this age we are here to propagate the message and the love, we will try to convince. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went and he tried to convince them. He convinced them, and then they realized what sin they have done, and they started asking Prabhu to give mercy. And then after getting the mercy, right, their life got changed, transformation. They took the blessing. So here we see the mercy from Nityananda Prabhu, right? How Nityananda Prabhu delivered the mercy. He requested Mahaprabhu, and then their life got changed. So that's an example of how non-devotees also get the mercy from the Lord. So we are not devotee anyway, right? We at least all of us at least we know something, how we can progress or how we can achieve our, how we can strengthen our spiritual strength. So we can also do that, and so that's the essence I will take from the first part of the purport, right? So we should also pray for the mercy from our spiritual guru, and then ultimately we'll get the mercy from the Lord. So here again, spiritual guru is very important. We cannot directly approach the Lord. So we can, we can start.
So we move to the next paragraph. Can someone read it? Divya Mataji.
The Mayavadi philosophers think that without discriminating one cannot have pure knowledge. For them, this answer is given by the Supreme Lord. Those who are engaged in pure devotional service, even though they be without sufficient education and even without sufficient knowledge of the Vedic principles, are still helped by the Supreme God, as stated in this verse.
Okay. Do you have any understanding from this? Any thoughts, Mataji?
So even without proper knowledge, Mayavadis have they have strong opinions, and
Okay.
they
Okay. So Prabhupada, he is giving example of Mayavadi personalities here, who think they are above all the devotees, and they think they discriminate between the devotees and non-devotees, or who doesn't follow the Mayavadi philosophy, the knowledge provided by Mayavadi principles and the process what they follow. So if someone doesn't follow, they consider them as ignorant. They doesn't have any knowledge of about God, or in general what is God they don't know, and they lack the understanding of God. That is what their thinking is. But in the second part of it, when Srila Prabhupada is giving that if someone is like a devotee of the Lord, Supreme Lord, then God Himself would help him. But how it's I'll give an example of one of the Mayavadi philosophy personality from Chaitanya Charitamrita reading is Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So he was also one of the big followers of Mayavadi principles and the knowledge what he had. So when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reached to Jagannath Puri, right? So then Jagannath Chaitanya Mahaprabhu like fainted when he entered the temple, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was there in the temple, and he then asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to take to his home, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there in unconscious state when then all the other devotees from Navadvip Dham came and they inquired about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where is he? Then they found that okay, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu due to ecstasy of love for Lord Jagannath and Subhadra, Baldev, he fainted, and so they finally all went to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house. So there, after chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra by all the devotees, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to consciousness, and then he actually started interacting with the devotees. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was thinking, okay, based on the symptoms of the body of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he thought, okay, he is obviously some great devotee of the Lord, but then he inquired from Gopinath Acharya, who is the brother-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Then he got to know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas order from Bharati Sampradaya community. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was thinking that this is the second class sampradaya based on their understanding of Mayavadi philosophy. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya actually then he thought maybe I should teach the Vedanta philosophy to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so that he can take renunciation from the first class order, which is again the Mayavadi principles which Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was following. But by listening to that word, the devotees of the Lord, they got offended and they were very upset that why Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is saying that we should convert Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the first class of the community. But later on then Gopinath Acharya started explaining him about the position of the Supreme Lord, what is his position. He is the Krishna himself, Radha and Krishna himself, and he is coming in this body just to teach us the devotional service. So the same thing here, then after that when there were some more interactions between Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then one day Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, okay, because you are a great devotee of the Lord, I want to teach you about the Vedanta philosophy. And then he started explanation. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu listened almost for 7 days. And then he didn't have any comment or thoughts in that. Then so finally Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya asked, are you really able to understand what I am saying? Because you are not asking or giving any comment. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, okay, I understand your explanation. I am listening to your explanation, but I am not able to understand anything out of it because the meaning you are providing of the Vedic literature, that is not the direct meaning. You are just trying to manipulate that and giving me your own explanation of it. That's how it seems. So it's not the direct meaning what I interpret it. Then after that, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained different verses, and then that conversation went. Then finally, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was he accepted his defeat that no, whatever understanding he had about the Vedic literature and the personality of Godhead, that is not correct. So then he surrendered to the Lord. Basically, he wanted to gain knowledge or understanding from him, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started explaining him in detail about devotional service. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, so in this context, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, even though he had knowledge, but he didn't have the true knowledge or understanding of the real position of the Supreme Lord. He had their own, based on the Mayavadi philosophy, he had their own interpretation. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, since he explained him, he got, even though he was Mayavadi, but because of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy through his devotee, so he got the mercy, and then he got to know the real position of the Supreme Lord. So in this case, how Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was helped by the Supreme Lord. So to get the real knowledge of the devotional service and then different meaning of the Vedas and the literatures. So that's what it means. And so how that mercy came to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya? Not directly through the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells in Chaitanya Charitamrita itself that if because of the association of devotee, he got the mercy of Jagannath Puri. And the devotee was Gopinath Acharya, who was his brother-in-law, who was like the follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching. And at the end, then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya also like accepted that when in ecstasy, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya also started dancing and then praising about the Lord. He was very happy, and that mood. Then Gopinath Acharya also was very happy. He like he said that I am really happy that due to mercy of the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is like able to understand the devotional service and the process of it. But then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, this is not because of the, this is because of your association I am able to come to that understanding of devotional service. And then his Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya again said to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's not magic that you might have delivered so many other people in the world, but because you are able to deliver me, to come to that understanding or knowledge of the Supreme Lord, that is kind of a wonder itself, because he didn't have the complete misunderstanding of it, and then he came to that knowledge of the Supreme Lord, so that helped him to like surrender to the Lord. So, any thoughts? Any questions, then okay. We'll move on to the next paragraph.
Prabhu, could you please help us by reading this paragraph?
The Lord tells Arjuna that basically there is no possibility of understanding the supreme truth, the absolute truth, the supreme personality of Godhead, simply by speculating. For the supreme truth is so great that it is not possible to understand him or to achieve him simply by making a mental effort. Man can go on speculating for several million of years, and if he is not devoted, if he is not the lover of the supreme truth, he will never understand Krishna or the supreme truth.
Yes, sir. Would you like to summarize this part? Or just your opinion?
The Prabhupada is explaining here that Krishna tells Arjuna to say, like, you can't understand who is Krishna. Krishna, the supreme truth, is one the same. Like Krishna, and when he's talking about the supreme truth, he's talking about Krishna or the supreme personality of Godhead. Just say Krishna, So he's telling and he's explaining that ordinary man cannot understand Krishna by just speculating. And then he goes on further to say that one can remain in several million of years. So it's basically our life, take it birth after birth after birth. That's why, we take birth because we don't understand Krishna. So now, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we might be able to understand a little bit.
Sure, thank you, Prabhu. So I'll take one that quick word again, as you summarized right in this purport. Prabhupada is saying that it's Lord Krishna is saying that it's not possible to understand the supreme truth, through just mental speculation. So what do you think about speculation here, or anyone? It's not just to Avi Prabhu, like for everyone.
By thinking that we make by concocting something that maybe Krishna is the light and he doesn't have a form, like that's the Maya body. So maybe Krishna is just a spirit, controls everything. That's like examples of mental speculation. So if we think like that, we never come to the truth.
So here one thing, yes, Mataji.
Oh, I was gonna say, at least like your mental speculation, it kind of reminds me of counterfeit money. So like it looks like real money, it looks like it can be valuable worth something, but it can actually use it to work with.
Yeah, so I was coming to that, verse just to say, we have read about mental concoction, I think recently in one of the verse. So that was my question to know, right? If you know about that verse, which word? I think it's 242, if I'm not wrong. But again, so as you know, as Abhi Prabhu rightly said, right, that it's not possible to understand Krishna through just mental speculation, right? We have to surrender ourselves to Krishna in order to understand. And in the first part of this, we understood that, again, even devotee, non-devotee, right? Whoever surrenders themselves to Krishna, they can understand and they get the special mercy, right? So if I talk about the speculation, right, again, so we have to be very careful, right, who we are listening from, and we have to protect us from the mental speculation or mental concoction, how I say, right? Otherwise, if we learn the explanation from a wrong person, again, we'll take, Mayavadi philosophy or something, and then our understanding can go in a completely wrong direction. We can get distracted from our path. So that is very important, and fortunately we have, the bona fide spiritual master. We can follow their guidelines and we can understand, what is the real way of surrendering to Krishna. Like in this age of Kali, we have a very shortcut. We can simply chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and we can get purified, or we can become an eligible candidate to get mercy. So we'll talk about, who can get mercy, but not everyone can get mercy, right? We have to be eligible to get mercy, then we can try for special mercy. So again, I'll give you an example, right, about the mental speculation here, right? There is a story, it goes like, that there is a jackal, and once upon a time, like, he was just going to the forest and he fell into one of the pond which had blue water, and when he came out of the pond, he was colored in a blue skin, and he became blue jackal, and no one has seen a blue jackal. So everyone in the forest, when he went back to the forest, everyone was surprised. Wow, what is this new animal? It's very unusual. We have not seen a blue animal. Even the lion, the king of the forest, he was surprised, and he asked jackal, right, who are you? And then jackal, it's very intelligent, right? He understood, okay, the king cannot recognize me. It's very easy, I can say that I am the king of the forest. You have never seen me, so I am the king. And it happens like, that the lion thinks, okay, he must be true, because, I have not seen this. So whatever he is saying, that is true. And let's follow him. And then jackal was sitting nicely on the throne, and he was enjoying all the animals in the forest, right? They were serving jackal. And jackal was very happy. They're getting, so much attention. And one fine day, what happened, right, the jackal, they start crying, right, all of a sudden. And what happens, they have a unity, right? If one jackal, starts crying, all others starts, crying in a group. So that happens, and one fine day, they starts, crying, and then the lion understood, okay, so this guy, he made me fool. He is just a jackal, as an ordinary jackal, not the king or any unusual thing. So he went and he jumped and he killed that. So the moral of the story here is, we have to understand, we have to make sure that, we are getting message from the bona fide spiritual master, not from anyone. Nowadays we can see there are many people in the, everywhere, that just for the sake of money, right, they teach, and they don't care about what they are talking, but just their 1 hour preaching is done and they are out. They don't follow the principles. Again, I'm saying most of them, not everyone, but key here is we have to make sure, that we are getting the instructions from the bona fide spiritual master, so that we will not get distracted. Just like a jackal here, we will later find out, oh, that guy was, I was following the instruction, that was not the real person. So that way, right, so only the point here, which we see from this part of the verse, right? We have to do the devotional service in order to make God happy, right? No, unless we surrender to the God, we cannot get the mercy from the God. So we have to establish our intimate relationship with the Krishna to get the mercy.
Okay. We move on to the next part of purport. Yes, Prabhuji? Yeah, you can. No, yeah, you can take Prabhuji.
Anyone, I give it in your hand, so it's your person.
Only by devotional service. Okay.
Only by devotional service is the supreme truth Krishna speaks, and by his inconceivable energy, he can reveal himself to the heart of the pure devotee. The pure devotee always has Krishna within his heart, and with the presence of Krishna, who is just like the sun, the darkness of ignorance is at once dissipated. This is the special mercy rendered to the pure devotee by Krishna.
Yes. Any thoughts?
So we're in darkness, but Krishna can be the light that dissolves that darkness so we can see clearly.
Okay, that's good. So this particular explanation provided by Sri Prabhupada relates to our one of the texts in Srimad Bhagavatam 9.4.68, where Lord Vishnu is explaining about the devotional service or devotees to Durvasha Muni, and then he says, the pure devotee is always within the core of my heart, and I am always in the heart of the pure devotee. And the pure devotee doesn't know anything else but me, and I don't know anyone else but the pure devotee. So here, I'll take one example of the pure devotee again from the same chapter which we read recently in Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 9 from Amrish Maharaj, who was the pure devotee. He was always in the service of the Lord, like any activity he was doing. So he engaged all his senses in doing devotional service for the Lord. Like his ear for listening the pastimes of the Lord, legs for walking to the holy places, hands for cleaning the temple and then worshipping the Lord, and decorating the deities, ear for listening, and then nose for smelling the flowers offered to the Lord, and mouth for eating the tulsi leaves offered to the lotus feet of the Lord. So this way he was doing all the devotional service, and when Durvasha Muni, due to some misunderstanding, or I would say when Amrish Maharaj was doing the Ekadashi fasting, and when Durvasha Muni came to the kingdom of Amrish Maharaj, so Durvasha Muni he went to take bath in the river, and then by the time he returned it was so late. So Amrish Maharaj actually wanted to break the fast because the time was going, the time to break the fast was going away. So he wanted to break the fast. So he took guidance from his gurus, and then finally he just drained the water, considering it is not a food and not even breaking the rule, or breaking the rule of accepting any saint from, he is trying to say that he is waiting for the Durvasha Muni, but at the same time he is not breaking the rules. So he took that water, and then Durvasha Muni got to know. Sri Sri Nitai Gaur Nataraj ki Jai. Okay, so Amrish Maharaj then when I'll bring it. So when Durvaswamini came back, he got to know by his power that Amrish Maharaj already broke the fast. I mean, he drank water without, he didn't even wait for him. So that was kind of triggering point, and he got angry, and he actually immediately threw one of his hair, and one fiery demon came out of it, and which wanted to kill Amrish Maharaj. And Amrish Maharaj just humbly like folded his hand and just prayed to the Lord. And at the same immediately Sudarshan Chakra came, and that Sudarshan Chakra killed the fiery demon. And after that, that Sudarshan Chakra went behind Durvasa Muni to kill him. So he was like running in all the lokas of this like universe. He went to Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, nobody was able to help him. Then finally he went to Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu, he was listening to the plea of Durvasa Muni, and Durvasa Muni said, "What happened to your heart? I am like paying obeisances to you, but you are not helping me." So Lord Vishnu replies, "My heart is not with me; it's with my devotee, who is like completely devoting his life, senses to me. So ideally, you should like look for this mercy to my like devotee, who is Amrish Maharaj." So then Durvasa Muni understood the real position of a Vaishnava or a pure devotee. Then he went to Amrish Maharaj. And then he directly paid his obeisances to Amrish Maharaj, and then Amrish Maharaj prayed to the Sudarshan Chakra to like forgive Durvasa Muni. So by seeing the like humbleness of Durvasa Muni, he was very much astonished, and then Durvasa Muni finally understood the position, and then he left the place, but he understood his mistake, but he was committing. Even though he was a great scholar, learned scholar, he didn't have that understanding of devotional service or the position of a Vaishnava devotee. So this is what it relates to, who is the pure devotee, and who, like how God lives in the heart of a pure devotee, and then in the heart of the God, Supreme Lord, the pure devotee is always there. And we'll continue to the paragraph 4. Any volunteers? Vaishnavi? Okay, yeah.
Due to the contamination of material association, through many, many millions of births, one's heart is always covered with the dust of materialism. But when one engages in devotional service, constantly chants Hare Krishna, the dust quickly clears, and one is elevated to the platform of pure knowledge. The ultimate goal, Vishnu, can be attained only by this chant and by devotional service, and not by mental speculation or argument.
So, yeah. So, any thoughts from this reading?
There's a lot of dust, and we're walking through a field where it's hard to see and navigate, and we've been gifted a very special Maha Mantra to help us along the way.
Okay, that's good. So this explanation provided by Srila Prabhupada relates to one of the texts from Srimad Bhagavad Gita 7.19. Bhavanam janmanam ante jnanvan mam prapadyate Vasudeva sarvam iti sa mahatma sudurlabha. So Krishna himself tells to Arjuna that after millions of births and deaths, the soul or the living being comes to an understanding of the real position of the Supreme Lord. Then only he is able to pay his obeisances to the Lord, and then engage in devotional service. So here also, in same case, Srila Prabhupada is trying to explain. We have like so much contamination from the previous births, due to our engagement to the material world and engaging our senses in different activities which are not related to the Lord and just like trying to satisfy our senses. So that dust will be cleared only by chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Kaviraj has given Hare Nam Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteo Gatiranita. So that's the only way in this age of Kali to clear this dust of all the contamination or the dust from the previous births of millions of life. So we have to obviously seek mercy from the Vaishnava devotees and the spiritual master and keep our like senses in like our activities and thinking of the Supreme, like always thinking of the Supreme Lord, engage in the association of the devotees and seek guidance as needed. So that will help us to clear this dust. And related to this, I have one small story again from Srimad Bhagavatam. Chitraketu Maharaj, how like initially he married like so many, he had so many wives, I think 1 crore wives, because he didn't have a son. He wanted one son and for that he married 1 crore. So, but finally, still he didn't have. Then he reached one day, like Angira, I believe Angira's sage came to his kingdom, and then he asked for like he wanted a son. So that was his request from Angira Muni to provide him that benediction. So Angira Rishi gave him one fruit, and he asked him to give to one of his queens. Then Chitraketu Maharaj gave it to his eldest queen, and then she was like finally she gave birth to a son. But after getting the son, Chitraketu Maharaj was completely like favored to the eldest queen, but he was ignoring the other wives. So they got jealous of it and envy towards the son, and they finally poisoned the son, and he was dying. So after that, and his name was Harsh Shok, because Harsh means the pleasure and Shok means the sadness. So that is how Angira Rishi had given the name, because he knew that this son will be the reason for his pleasure as well as for the sadness. So then the whole kingdom was lamenting because of the death of the son, and then again Angira Rishi came with Narad Muni, and then asked him what is the reason for your like sadness, why you are not happy. Then they told like this is what happened, this is the situation. And this time, so at the previous time, because Angira Rishi was there, he could have directly given the knowledge or understanding of Lord. But the King Chitraketu was not in a position to accept it. He was still thinking of the material enjoyment or all related to his kingdom, how to serve my people or kind of get one son so that he can have one follower or what do you call it? I'm missing that term. It's like in next generation, someone should take care of his properties, right? So that was his thought initially. But next time when Angira Rishi and Narad Muni came, so the son's body was still there. So Narad Muni with his power asked, he got the life for the son. So then he woke up, and then Narad Muni asked him, you can ask him whatever questions you have to your son. So that boy woke up, and then Narad Muni asked, so do you recognize your like parents or father? So he asked like, which father you are asking of? Because in my previous life I was a tree. So I don't know whether he is my real father or who, because then by listening to the word of this kind of word from the son, Maharaj Chitraketu understood his mistake, and then he immediately surrendered to Narad Muni, and he inquired for the knowledge, like how he can approach the Lord. And with that understanding, then he was now in the position to accept basically the dust. What the point here is, the dust or contamination from his previous life or this life is clear. Now he is able to grasp that message from Lord Narad Muni, and then he was Narad Muni gave him the knowledge, and then he was engaged in devotional service. So that's the thought. We'll move on to the last part of the purport.
Any volunteer, please?
Vaishnavi. The audio.
The pure devotee does not have to worry about the material necessities of life. He need not be anxious because when he removes the darkness from his heart, everything is provided automatically by the Supreme Lord, who is pleased by the loving devotional service of the devotee. This is the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. By studying Bhagavad Gita, one can become a soul completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord and engage himself in pure devotional service. As the Lord takes charge, one becomes completely free from all kinds of materialistic evils.
You want to provide quick feedback?
Basically, a pure devotee, we should be involved in material life, but we shouldn't be attached to it, basically. So, by reading the Bhagavad Gita, we can learn more about how to detach ourselves from the material world, and then understand how to surrender onto them and be engaged in devotional service.
Thank you. So again, in this part of purport right now, I see, again, it's very condensed, you see, like, it's a huge message hidden, in this part of the purport, right? Again, here, Krishna is explaining, he is dwelling in everyone's heart. But again, Krishna appears according to their desire. And again, he reciprocates with them, if there are many people in this material world, right? They are atheistics, they do not believe in God. So if they do not believe in God, so Krishna does not appear for them. He remains invisible for them. But if a devotee is there and he is rendering his service, unconditional services to the Lord, then we receive the mercy. Right? So Krishna himself, he comes with a torch of knowledge, he removes all the ignorance. So that's basically right too. We are seeing, from the message from this part of purpose. There is a very important verse, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 22.31. I think Chaitanya Charitamrita is 22.31. So it's Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andhakara Yaha Krishna Taha Nahi Mayara Adhikara. So here basically what Prabhupada is saying, right, that Krishna is compared to a sunshine and Maya is compared to darkness. Wherever there is a sunshine, there cannot be darkness, right? If there is a God, there cannot be, any problems or no illusion, no Maya. So I think, this is what when we were as a team, we were preparing and we came across this purport and we thought, okay, we'll bring this up, for the knowledge. So now, right, again, based on this verse, right, that there is no darkness, nothing comes. So we will talk more about this verse and we'll try to explain. And so there are three modes of nature, right? Mainly mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, right? And some people, they are very clean, learned, they always behave nicely. So again, I'll say close to spiritual, so mode of goodness. There are some people who always thinks about them, they think, how can I achieve this? How can I get it? At any cost they need, what they need. So that comes under mode of passion. And then mode of ignorance, and again, there are some people, they don't even know what needs to be done and what has to be done. Forget about how it has to be done. So that comes under, mode of ignorance. It's very difficult to find, a person which has, which is pure in any one of the qualities. Generally, we get mixed. Some people has mode of passion and ignorance. Someone has mode of goodness and ignorance. So again, I'll give you an example, right? How mode of goodness changes in a very quick succession of time. We all know about Kamsa, right? We celebrated Janmashtami and we had a very nice drama also on Janmashtami. So I'll pick a character here, Kamsa. So we all know that Kamsa was very cruel person. He has zero of, he was far away from mode of goodness. But again, as there is a ritual, right? That if your sister is getting married, then someone from your family should go and go to the home of your sister, your new home. So here comes up for a moment, like in his heart, that mode of goodness came up and said, okay, I'll take you, my sister. You are going to the new home. I will become your charioteer, and I'll take you all the way there. So you will feel like someone is there from your family who is helping you. But as he was walking, as he was driving through the palace, and there was a sound that came from the sky. Akash. So again, I'll continue here, right? So as soon as he hears the Akaswani, he puts out his sword, right, and try to kill his sister. Again, the same sister. A few minutes back, he was loving, like she's the most dear person for him on the earth, and now you see, just a flick of second, his mode of goodness it got changed to passion, and after some time, he is ready to kill her. He is not looking about anything else. I don't care about other things who are here near me. Who is she? He is just looking for how do I save my life. So we see right now how one mode takes precedence over other in a very quick time. So it's very difficult again to get into mode of being in one mode. Again things changes based on how the situation is, right? Again, just example, I think Prabhu was giving example, right, in his last class, that you are driving, you are very nice, you are listening kirtan, you are in a nice mode, but again all of a sudden one rash driver comes and it just crosses you without giving signal, and then you get angry. So immediately, right, let's see these two examples, right, how your mode changed immediately. So that's what again if we have to be in a position to get mercy from the Lord, we have to try as close as we can do in mode of goodness. We can try to again do all our activities, especially if I take right now as this chapter is about mercy. So I'd say right now, so if I divide 24 hours into 3 parts right now, so first 8 hours, 12 to 8, then we can consider as mode of goodness, then next 8 hours mode of passion, then mode of ignorance. If you want to get the maximum potency of the chanting, right, it's recommended, but again it varies based on everyone's schedule, work and everything, right. So if we chant in the Brahma Muhurta, which again comes under mode of goodness, there are chances that you will get maximum potency of the Mahamantra. Mahamantra we can chant anytime and we will always get the benefit of it. But if we chant right, there is no one in the world, no one in the home, no one is there to disturb. Right? So we can practice that to get the mercy. But again, this world, material world, right now it's known as Maya. Maya means one which does not exist, and it's always there, to distract you. As soon as you try to do something good, or you are in mode of goodness for a moment, right? And something happens, which tests you whether you are really, in mode of goodness, and then it changes. So I'll give an example again here right now. The person who is more intoxicated, he thinks that I am more free, I have nothing to think about. So we have okay. So I think based on the purport which we were reading right now, I just got carried away based on the mode of goodness. But I think at last part right now, Prabhupada is saying that a devotee does not need anything. There is no necessity, right? So I'll take a very quick example from our Srimad Bhagavatam, right, of Dhruva Maharaj. So the story goes this way, right? He was son, and he wanted to sit on the lap of his father, but again her mother, right? She says, you cannot go there, and he got very angry. So far he's again thinking in the material way, right? I need to sit in that in his dad's lap. And then he goes away, he decides, I'll go to the forest and I'll meditate, because I need, he gets angry and, I need bigger kingdom than my God. And then luckily he found Narad Muni. So again, one more message here, right? So in rare cases, Krishna directly comes and gives mercy, a special mercy. But most of the time, right, he sends his devotees. Like, we have one devotee here, Srila Prabhupada, to give us mercy. Then we have Narad Muni right here. So Narad Muni came and he gave a mantra to Dhruva Maharaj that we just go and chant nicely, recite this mantra and God will be pleased. So based on the mantra that he receives from the Narad Muni, right, he starts chanting, and when the Lord appeared, after his meditation, God was surprised and he said, okay, let's come. And then he says, okay, then he forgets, I don't need anything, he just astonished by seeing the God. So the same thing here goes, if God comes here, for a devotee, material things doesn't matter. They just want to get the mercy of the Lord. So I think we are done with this.
So we have a question after this session. So is it possible to get mercy? Any thoughts? Anyone? Is it possible to get mercy?
How can we get mercy?
How can we get the mercy of the Lord? Sorry, Mother, you could speak up, please.
When we please the devotees of the Lord, we get mercy.
Yes, that's nice. Yes, Mataji. So that's the only way. That's what the acharyas have recommended. That mercy is always there. It's flowing. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here in this earth to give us mercy. Let me read one from Chaitanya Charitamrita 16.1. That will Okay. So here Krishnadas Kaviraj says in Adi Leela, it's Chaitanya Charitamrita 16.1, I worship Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whose nectarian mercy flows like a great river, inundating the entire universe. Just as a river flows downstream, Lord Chaitanya especially extends himself to the fallen. So this is the message directly we are getting from the Vaishnava Acharyas, that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in this age of Kali as a devotee to give us mercy to all the fallen souls. And so that's the real kind of message we should take from any of our Vedic literatures, and this gives us the real position of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the reason behind why he came to this earth, especially to the devotee or non-devotee. He wanted to distribute the mercy of the Lord, and they have compared this mercy as a flowing river. So river doesn't stop, mercy is always flowing, but whether we are ready to accept it or not, that is up to us. So how to accept it? There is different acharyas have tried different way, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave direct instruction to Lord Nityananda Prabhu to go to each house in the Navadvip and beg for this, to people to chant the holy name of the Lord, to receive this mercy. And that's also in there, one of the Vaishnava bhajans where Bhakti Narottam Das Thakur has written, Shraddhavan Jan hai, Prabhu Ragyay Bhai Magi Yei Bhiksha, Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Karo Krishna Shiksha. So basically, Nityananda Prabhu is going door to door begging. He has opened the marketplace of the holy name, but people who are not interested in the chanting or name of the Lord, then he is begging to each one that please come and join Sankirtan movement, and this is the mercy of the Lord, you have to accept it. So that's the context here what I was able to relate, and then we discussed internally about it. I'll maybe for the summary I'll hand over to Neeraj.
Yes, so conclusive summary here, right, to that all our material contaminations can be cleared through devotional service and chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So if you practice that right now, again, it's better to read all the literatures which Prabhupada has written, that's again it's a mercy, right? But if someone is for some challenges, body challenges or something, someone doesn't have body or something, whatever, So if we chant, right, with a chant also we can get the mercy. That's the essence of this purpose we would like to summarize. Again, Krishna's mercy is not far away. It's just, it's real and can be felt by the person who is really looking for it. Right? So it's not far away and it is real. We can get mercy in this Kali as well. But yes, we have to seek for it. And as we discussed right in the purport that Krishna reciprocates. If I have a desire to get the mercy, I'll get it. But I have to work hard to get it. And we'll just simply, I think in the interest of time, right, we had some key points, right, because again this is one of the principles of ISKCON, right, at the end of the lecture there should be some key points, when you go home you should have at least something, because you are giving your time, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, whatever, right, so you should have something learning that you can take back to home. So key point, based on this purpose, right, which we wanted to highlight is again we have to do the sincere devotion, association of devotees, which we call sadhu sangha, study of scriptures, bona fide guru's guidance, not like Jaikal, so that no one can come and make us fool like Jaikal, right? And then surrender and humility, prayer and meditation. Do not offend the devotees in any way. This is very important in Vaishnava. And then if possible, right, we can do the 10-minute call. We can read every day 10 minutes to go through the scriptures.
And one last point, Srila Prabhupada always says, a Vaishnava doesn't have a Vaishnava is without envy. So we should not be envy about anyone in any way. So that's the more dangerous for our devotional service.
So I think with this we will end our understanding. Hopefully we were able to pass the message of Srila Prabhupada and you guys enjoyed. And now we are ready for feedback, comment, questions. Yes, Prabhu. We were missing you, Prabhu, from the beginning.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah, so I was on the way, but I heard the entire class today. So I had a quick question. So in the starting of this thing, you talked about the whole Mahaprabhu's talking with the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and then the Mayavad philosophy, and then at the end it was like, since you're able to preach me, then like I was just trying to understand like how does this context, like how does that part comes into the like mercy, how does that tie up like into your lecture, like because that was like the part which is like I did not understand, like how did that tie up to the mercy part.
Okay, so Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he was the Mayavadi personality, right? And he had a different understanding of the Supreme Lord. He didn't believe in the devotional service or directly worshipping the Lord the way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or our acharyas have explained in the literature, right? And he has different understanding. He was more into impersonal, and usually Mayavadi philosophy tells that we merge into the at the end of this life we merge into the Supreme Lord by like keeping our mind engaged in the Lord. But here with mercy came through a devotee. Devotee was Gopinath Acharya, who was brother-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. But he was the follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So because Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was in the association of Gopinath Acharya, he got the mercy through Gopinath Acharya of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is how we were able to relate, like how even if you are, say you are learned scholar, but you don't have the understanding of devotional service or Supreme Lord, then that's of no use, right? Maybe hope that clarifies.
Right, again, Mayavadi personality is what, again, they focus more on learning, right? Not apply the learning. So that way, right, again, we discussed in the verse today, right? Again, unless and until we do the devotional service, we cannot get the mercy. So that way, right, Mayavadi, again, I will relate with that, They are not applying, so they cannot get the mercy.
Thanks.
Yes, Mother.
So, why should one go through the mercy of a spiritual master versus Krishna directly?
I'll take it. So, I think Adi Lila, if I am not wrong, right? In Adi Lila, Krishna says to Arjuna, right? That the one who claims himself as a devotee, I don't consider them as my devotee. Because you have to become a devotee of a devotee or servant of the devotee. So Krishna will recognize you through the devotee. If we try to just in case right now, so for us we have to always go through the Prabhupada. If we skip the Prabhupada, we cannot never achieve Krishna. So in our case, if we can please our Guru, like for here our Shiksha Guru, Garpan Prabhu is here, he is associated with Guru. If we make them happy, then he will recommend to his master Guru, and from there it will flow all the way to the Krishna. And as we have learned right in Bhagavad Gita that Krishna never he always makes his devotee happy, right? His devotee is asking, okay, in case if your master is saying that, okay, hey God, and always that pure devotee, he always interacts with Krishna, and he can recommend, okay, Lord, here is a devotee, he is doing sincere practices, and in that case, Krishna will take a look at it and say, yes, okay, now I recognize you because you are devotee of my devotee or the servant of the devotee. So in this philosophy, right, we cannot skip our spiritual master.
And just to add there, like if we see even in the teachings of